What is true happiness for you?
I think having conversations like this helps us realize like our own values and beliefs and ethics and all of those sorts of things. And I think even like true happiness is like a day with my family where we're doing things together. But again, it's like hard work, kind of working for the values that we all share and coming together throughout the day and just, you know, having fun while doing it. Like hard work doesn't have to be hard. It can be fun and silly and enjoyable and connecting. And I think things like that, like days like that where we've just been together, doing hard things together, making sure that we're like connected to our values, working towards them together as a family, being with those people that we've chosen, that we love, putting in effort to constantly be doing those things. Yeah, I think that's just happiness. I'm Caitlyn, I'm 33 and I'm a mum to 4 kids. I grew up in Tin Can in Queensland, and I think growing up somewhere like that where you just kind of get to be really free. When I grew up there, it was a pretty small town. You get to just explore and just be a kid, which I think was really, really important. Moved to Gympie when I was probably like 10, and that was a huge change. It was big and scary, and again, I feel like then that's like changed me into a completely different person from who I was. Teenage years were always a big struggle, massive struggle. People say it's the best years of your life, but it certainly wasn't for me. And then I met my now husband when I was 17, and that's kind of been some of like the best, obviously the best times of my life, is meeting him and becoming this different person and creating a family together and getting to like live out my dreams of always wanting to be a mum has been massive and feels wonderful that I've actually got to achieve that. And I guess now we're here.
Do you have a memory that you're fond of from your childhood?
This is actually super tricky because I find my brain particularly likes to focus on all of the negative things. I feel like my childhood probably wasn't a particularly positive one. So there's definitely a lot of negative things to choose from. I feel like I was alone a lot as a child. And so the nice memories that I have are really of times where I was alone. I can even remember like sitting on the school bus and like just looking out the window and imagining myself riding along the road on a horse. And like that's a huge memory that sticks with me and also made me feel happy and safe and free. And while that wasn't actually something that happened, it's like a really comforting memory. Little me probably needed so much comfort and support, and I would love, you know, ideally that I had that. It's like that thing, if you could go back and change something about your life, what would you change or something? And I don't think that there's anything. I wouldn't go back and be like, okay, or try and say it'll be easier. or try and help her in some way, because then I feel like, yeah. And I also think there's no point in trying to dwell on things that's never going to happen. We can't go back and tell someone something. We can't go back and change anything. So what's the point in using up energy to be like, oh, well, this is what I'd do for that person, like myself as a younger person, because we can't. So why bother? It's just wasted energy instead of focusing on the now.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be?
Tech? If it was a huge question, like one thing about the world to change to make it a better place, it would 100% be tech. And that sounds weird because we're doing this on a camera and all of the things, but I think people are just using technology and things as the answer for everything. And I honestly think it's just taking us further away from being happier, everything. I personally believe that the way that we are going with how people want to combat climate change or whatever, there's just there's nowhere that we can go to with tech being the answer to help. I don't think, personally, I don't think that. If we were living, I don't know, in the past of we tried to kind of change the trajectory of the way that we were going back to the way people lived in the past, it would be so much better for the world and for people's mental health, and in just so many aspects, it would be positive. But it's never going to happen. So it's again one of those things why dwell on it, why think on it? If I could, that's what I'd change, but I can't, and no one would ever want that. And I just think it's going to keep going the way that we're going. And yeah, we just kind of have to accept it.
Are you happy with who you are as a person?
In general, yes, but I'm also the type of person that thinks I could be doing better in whatever area of life, and I'm trying to get better at not being so it's not so much critical, but it's just in motherhood, I always think that I could be doing better. I could be a better mum. I could be doing more, which then I've seen things that say, if you think you're a great mum and you're not trying to do any better, you probably should be doing more or something, or when you think that you're not doing enough, you're actually a great mum. When you feel like you're always needing to give more to your kids, you're actually doing really wonderful. You're giving them heaps. So I think that there's always room for improvement, but in general, I think I'm a decent person. I'm happy with myself in general. I would love, we've just spoken about, I'd love to not have to be dealing with depression frequently. I would love to not have struggles with the way my brain works and feeling stuck with that, or feeling like I don't know how to work with my brain properly, maybe, but I'm not unhappy with myself as a person. But I think if someone were ever to say, oh yeah, I'm completely happy with every aspect of who I am, I think that would be strange. Surely most people want to improve on some part of themselves at some point. Creativity or housework or gardening or like being a wife. Like, you can't be 100% everywhere. I think there's always something there that might need to be improved.
What do you think the next chapter of your life will look like?
I honestly have no idea. My youngest is almost 4 now, and my eldest is almost 12, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard going into teenagedom, and yeah, it's always tricky, and I cannot even begin to try and think of what life is going to be like. I'm definitely trying to work on being more present and connected to my family and to my kids and being there for them, especially like for my eldest is going to be, being a teenager is so hard. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm there for him and there to support him for that. And so I think a lot of my creative projects that I want to do possibly might just get put on the back burner. I want to focus on living even more simply, and really kind of living in alignment with those values and stuff that I've already spoken about. It's just, yeah, I think there's still so much more that I could do to live life according to them and showing up the way that I want to show up for my family.